Hello, Satanic Blessings. I just wanted to do a quick video. I didn't have the any intentions of doing a video this evening. But this is the first time I'm using Ouija board successfully, so I just wanted to do a video to explain. This is just to just to let you know, my my phone is charging right now, so it's too low to use the light, so I don't have any light. So I apologize for that. But I just wanted to do this and get to bed. It's kind of late. It's like almost 2:45 a.m. So I just wanted to do this, and it's so it's a little hard to see. So I ordered this Ouija board from Etsy, and I hope you could see it. I'll take some better pictures. I'll do another video, but right now I just wanted to do this quickly. It has Baphomet on it, so it's a satanic Ouija board, and it has inverted pentagram, and the rest of it looks like the design from the Parker Brothers ones. If anybody remembers the Parker Brother, the original, like what you would consider to be the original standard, classic Ouija board design. But this one is in a circle. The letters and the numbers are in a circle, and it says yes here on the left. It says no right over here. You got the celestial moon and you got the celestial sun. It says goodbye, but it doesn't say hello. It says goodbye. The inverted pentagram and the Baphomet. And the planchette is wood. And let me just show you. It's a cool planchette. It has a skull on it. It says yes, no, so it's decorated nicely. Goodbye, hello, with a skull, and it's the hole in the middle. Wooden planchette. This was about $13 or $13.42 for this set, US dollars, and I purchased it from the UK, from an Etsy shop. I don't recall. If I wanted to, I could go and look and take a look and see, but I can't recall off the top of my head. Anyway, I just paid for that, and the shipping might have been like $10 or $13 for shipping. Anyway, this was a really good price. So I said, I see all these videos, people using Ouija boards, and they never work for me. And I'm telling you, I am 41 years old. And I was using Ouija boards since I was about like 7 or 8 by myself. Never worked. And I'm telling you, I would be devoted and just sit there for hours as a child. It would never work. So, I never bothered really. I have a couple of them, and I just never really used them because I just feel like they wouldn't work. And I did use one a couple years ago, and it didn't work. I don't know if it was because you have to make sure that they do slide. Like, it has to be smooth. So I said, you know what? I didn't expect anything I didn't expect it to work, but I said I'll give it a go because a lot of things have changed in my magical path, my spiritual path. Basically, my bond with the infernal realm and with Satan, I think I have a very strong bond. So, yes, it did move. It did work. And I did a little ritual where I opened it up, and just up top, if you can't see, it's my sigil of Satan that I always have in 99% of my videos, Celestite geode, and the Ducanti Sigil of Lucifer. I'm just saying that because it's so dark that you might not know what that is. So I open the portal. I'll go over one video in better detail how I did that. And I lit a specific candle that I had specifically for Satan. And I asked Father if he had any messages for me at this time. And I'm waiting, I'm focused. You have to be serious. And I had it started out here. And I believe it was like it was like I would say Ouija board lesson 101. That he was just teaching me or showing me that I can do it, or it will work, because like I said, it's never worked for me before, and I always said, oh, it'll never work, and I never expect anything of it. I use tarot. That's my main way of communicating with the gods is through tarot. But I always wanted to learn how to use the Ouija board. So, a lot of people say that it doesn't work with one person, and then I see videos of people say they use it every night, and they use it by themselves religiously, and it works every single time. So I'm just thinking, why can't I be one of those people where it works, So I had it here, and I don't want to put the planchette on the board because I don't want to open up the portal. And just a disclaimer, just to let you know. I don't invite anything in my house that's not, that I did not invite. I'm not one of those witches that I think they're crazy. They say that they'll let anything come in. No. Would you allow any stranger to come through your front door, off the street? No. It's the same thing. You don't want anything in your house that's uninvited. So this board is strictly for the infernal gods. Strictly, I will probably use another type of board to communicate with the fae, the fairy realm. But this board is strictly for Father and the infernal gods. And the only beings that are allowed in my house are the infernal gods, because I like them to be with me 24/7. That's a given. That they are allowed to come in, and I prefer them to be with me all the time, without a doubt. And my family, my mother, because this basically is my mother's house, so she's allowed to, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still a guest, and this is still her home. So my mother, my father, my grandparents, they're always allowed to come in and be with me. That's without say. So the infernal gods and my ancestors. But anything else is not allowed, and I don't play that game. And neither will Father or my infernal guides. They're not going to play that game. But some witches, they may not have like a team that, of guides, or they might just be solitary witches. There's a lot of people that are like that. They just want to use the board, and just for fun, or maybe they just want to communicate with an ancestor, and they're not they're dabblers. So those are the people that will get more prone to getting into trouble, because they don't have like a backup, support team, or they don't know enough to make it known and banish, do a banishing after working with the board. So I do that. I use I smudge everything all the time, because I like it makes me feel good. It's smudging makes me feel it alters my state. It makes me feel very cleansed. So I like to do that for like a mood lifter. So I'm always smudging. So I did that after, and I made it known, and I probably beat it like I beat a dead horse. I repeated myself like a broken record that basically, and if there were any intruders that want low level parasite pieces of garbage that wanted to come in, they're not welcome, and it would suck to be them if they did come here. So, not this household. We don't play like that. So I started, and I put the planchette, and very lightly, I put one hand here, and then the other hand on the other side, and started here, and then went all the way. Started here, upright, and went all the way. And I had to turn like my hand. I had to reposition because it went like it just didn't stay straight. It started here, and then it turned like a dial. So I had to kind of like turn my hands with it, and it started very slow, and it went down here all the way, and then it kind of went out here. When it got past the numbers, then it started to go out here by the letters, and I thought it was going to stop at yes, but it didn't. It just kept going. It just kept going. It just kept going, and then, like I said, it kept turning like a dial. So I kind of like had to, adjust myself. But it was very comfortable because it was slow. It was very slow. It's not like that. No, this took time. Just to let you know, this did take time, and it didn't happen 1, 2, 3. It was like, I had to concentrate. You have to concentrate on this, and focus. And then it landed with the center, the eye of it, on by. It just landed, with the hole, the center. I call it the eye of the planchette, right on the by part, and it just stayed there. And because I didn't know it, because the planchette wasn't actually spelling anything, it just kind of turned like a dial, and then landed on by. And I said, "Oh, is that that's it?" So I figured, after for like a minute or so on by, I figured that was the end of it. And so I took it off. I thanked Father, and I believe that was like Ouija board 101, just to show me that yes, it will work for me, because I have that, I have it in me, like, like all the other times I thought it wasn't going to work, and I didn't expect anything of it, but I focused, and I put my mind to it, and I sat there very still, almost like you're going to be in a like you go in a trance in a way. That's what I did, almost like you're going into meditation, and you're very relaxed. You relax yourself, and you just, whatever you would use to go into a trance or do a meditation, that's how I approached it. So that's why, and there was no doubt that it was, I was like, wow, this is moving, and I was almost falling asleep at one point, because like I told you, it's late at night, and I was there for a while, and yes, it did turn like a dial. So I had to put, the actual positioning of the planchette moved, not just like I said, didn't go like this. It turned. So yes, it moved very slow. It was very smooth. The board is very. I think that's important too, to have like a smooth board, and the planchette so it could glide. I think that's important. And then it landed on by. And when I started, I would say it was probably maybe like a good almost 5 to 10 minutes that it didn't move. But I knew Father was there because I know the signs. But first of all, as far as I'm concerned, I think he's and from what people say too, he's with me all the time. But like, I get specific like physical signs. First of all, when I'm home, there's certain noises in the house that go on, and I know that a spirit is in the house, and I get I get physical sensations as well. So I knew right then and there, like I could feel like you could feel the energy. So I knew something was going to happen, uh, sooner or later. And I was like, nothing was happening on the board. I just felt the energy. And every time I spoke to Father, I would get more physical, like the usual. My wind chimes outside would go a little bit, loud. They would pick up. Or I hear my popping and cracking because ever since became a Satanist, at night I'll get popping and cracking. Usually when I speak, most of the time to my deities, or like a good example, my computer, I don't use it, so it's off, and I don't touch, I don't have the internet access on. That I use my phone for everything, because I'm cheap. So I don't use the computer, but it cracks. Like, it sounds like somebody like presses on the keyboards, or like presses on the monitor screen, and it, like, like someone's actually sitting like at the computer, or somebody puts their hand with pressure on it, or like the lights, they'll crack. There's certain sounds that you'll know. I'm sure that specific things happen when you talk to your deities. They show specific signs. You'll get a sensation or whatever. So I said to Father, I said, so I know you're here, but how come this doesn't work? It works for everybody else, every other witch, except for me. It just never works for me. I guess I'm not meant to use it. And so it started. Very slowly, very slowly. And I continued to just be very still. Even held my breath. I was breathing to make sure that I didn't move. So that's how particular I am. I make sure that I don't move. I make sure the breathing is not intrusive. And then it landed on by, and I thank Father, and like I said, I believe it was just like Ouija board lessoning with him, 101. To show me that it was a very good practice, for focus and feeling the energy. So I'm really pleased about that. And I have to say, because I'm always in pain because of my condition, and I was complaining beforehand that I didn't feel well, and I just, my back and neck and everything was bothering me. When I finished, I felt so nice. I can't explain it. It's just a very nice, very good feeling. Like I all the pain, very soothing feeling. And my cats were calm. My one cat, he was on the other couch, sleeping like a log, and very calm. So I knew very well it was Father, because they say that if there's a bad spirit in the house, the animals are the first to know, but they know the energy. They're very much used to everything. So, and if something was wrong, I would know right away. So definitely it was Father, you know, and I would feel sorry for any uninvited spirit, because they would, we don't play here. So that I just wanted to share that story of Ouija board. I call it Ouija board 101, because all the other times in the past that I've used it, it never worked, but today it did. And I believe that it's because of the bond that I have with Father. And I think that I think that if you put your mind to it, and you just focus and you practice and you're serious, I think it could work. So just basically a testimony, because I was always one of those people that um, I would be like, oh yeah, Ouija board doesn't work. They're always cool to have. I like the way they look because they're very decorative. So I would be the type of person to have like a little Ouija board, like as a as a display piece. But I always never had luck. It never worked for me before. But I I'm very pleased with how it worked and how I was able to feel the energy, and I never had that experience before. It was just like watching paint dry on the wall. Those were the other this is the only way I could explain the other episodes, the other instances like in the past where you just be sitting and sitting, and then you're like getting uncomfortable and nothing's moving, and that's how it was always in the past. But tonight was completely different, and I said it did land on goodbye. So I'm assuming that was like Father saying that he closed the portal, because you're supposed to always put it on goodbye at the end. So I believe he closed the portal, and then I took the Ouija board and I went, when I first started, I went clockwise 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I don't want to go over it again. And then at the end, when I closed it, I did the reverse counterclockwise. I had the Ouija board, the planchette, and I went 1, 2, and, the third time to close it. And then you take the planchette off the board, because I had this charging today. When I opened up the package, I had it charging on my satanic altar, but I had the planchette on top of it, and then I had this sigil of Lucifer on top of the planchette, like in the middle. So it was like the planchette was here, and then I put this sigil on top of the planchette, and I had it there for hours. And I asked Father respectfully if he would infuse it with his energy, wisdom, and guidance. And I believe, yeah, I could tell, he charged it. I always do that with I always dedicate my divinatory tools to him, and I always ask for him, or or Mother Lilith, or Belial, or Beelzebub to charge my tools, or I'll dedicate like a specific deck to one or two gods, or and then there's some decks that I do with just the Fae. I ask them, the Fae, to because I just started with the Fae. I'm brand new to the fairy craft, but I've always been attracted to the fairy realm. But yeah, I just started to do that. So I'll do it with certain decks. I'll dedicate to specific deities, and that's what I did. That's what I did. I smudged it in the beginning, opened it the way I showed you, had it charging on Father's altar. Then I closed it, but I believe Father, he closed it himself too by going to goodbye, because obviously he knows it's important to end that. Because, like I said, knowing me, I'm very forgetful. I would probably be the type of person to forget to do that, leave the planchette on. But yeah, that just came to my mind, like it was like input in my mind, make sure you take that off. And, because people, if you go on YouTube, you'll hear some stories about people that have left it on, and then weird things happen, like things, they'll get an unwanted, low-level, obnoxious parasite. That's the last thing I need. I'm battling you know, battling disease right now. The last thing I need is a damn parasite. So I will, you know, that will just really tick me off. So yeah, so it's important that you close it. Remember, like I just said, 1, 2, 3, counterclockwise. Take the planchette off, but always make sure it goes goodbye. In my case, father left it up, put it on bye, and that's how you do it. So it wasn't a specific message. It was just that he was showing me basically how the board works and what to expect. So it wasn't an actual message. The only message he pointed, like I said, is bye, and that's about it. I'm not gonna ramble on anymore. That's the next video I'll be doing. It'll be a couple days. I'll do my message of the day. I'm trying to try to do more videos, a little more often. But I want to see if I could do at least twice a week, consistently, and then maybe 3 times a week message of the day with Father or one of the other deities. Yes, and I also said I was only going to concentrate on the infernal realm, but I have that call to the nature spirits and the fae that I can't ignore it. There's a place in my heart for them too. So yeah, that's what I'll do some videos on when I get a little more practice, as I learn. I'll do some videos on working with the fae. Like I said, I'm brand new. I'm establishing. I just established a relation. Slowly establishing a relationship with them. But I don't want to take up time with another subject. I just wanted to talk about the Ouija board, and like I said, this is really hard to find, a satanic Ouija board. I just happened to be like browsing on Etsy, and the price was really good. And this is, I don't know what kind of board this is. It's like it's like a very hard cardboard. It's cardboard, but not like not a cheap cardboard. It's like it's a very sturdy type of board. But this planchette, this is wood, and I like this. It has a skull on it. So that's it, and many blessings. Have a good night.